The sun is out and our blockade is legal.
There's Blockade.
Join Robin, Sean, Andrew, and Jalen right now.
This is Admiral Radis of the Rebel Alliance. Call up the Brick City Blockade. AP5 has an idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Brick City Blockade podcast here on this fine, rainy, typical thunderous. I guess you could. I know Andrew's in the clear. He's.
I just got chicken nuggets.
You just got chicken nuggets. He's all set and ready to rock and roll. Listen, it has been hot as balls. We are going on 12 straight days here in New England of 90+ degree temperatures.
And somehow you're wearing a sweatshirt. And
I said, no, that's not the point.
That's all he's wearing.
Oh.
Don't stand up, please.
I love that answer. He's like, oh. Sean, did you make a comment?
Don't worry about it.
Shaylin's laughing, so you must have made a comment. That's all I can say. Folks, we are so happy to be with you.
If you heard, you heard. That's all I'm going to say.
On episode 71 here of the Brick City Blockade podcast, we have a lot to chat about this evening. The Acolyte finale has wrapped itself up. We have a lot of items within the finale and the episode before to get into.
Questions than anything answered.
I mean, when you're talking about wrapping up season 1, you want a season 2, even though we haven't had any confirmations about a season 2, right? They're teasing it. They're teasing. They're like, hey,
they set up for a season 2.
Hey, by the way, we're thinking about it. You know, I don't know. Maybe we get something. Maybe we
just do it.
Andrew says, "Just do it." That's a copyrighted phrase from Nike, by the way. Do you care if they come after us?
Do it.
Okay, so just do it.
Can we get
my name is Robin Vogt.
No, you can't use my name with that stuff. We already had a Disney problem. Now we're gonna move into a Nike problem.
Brandy or Nike? I love Nike. Give me some free shoes.
All right, that's Mr. Sean Misho over there looking
hi.
for free Nike stuff. Sean, how's it going this evening?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Of course, Mr. Commander Nerd, who was talking about his chicken nuggets before. How's it going this evening, my friend?
Hello there. The chicken nuggets are great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, we're just going to leave it at that.
I mean, we got Acolyte. Yeah.
It's just like I'm living up with my nuggets and Acolyte and Deadpool and Wolverine coming up around the corner here. You know, we got some claw action that's going to happen. Of course, my beautiful fiance, Miss Shaylin Frost, is here. Honey, we are 30 days away from wedding.
We are 30 days exactly out from our wedding date.
Hey, and you know what that is? I'm 30.
And Sean's 30? What is going on here?
Explosion.
Whoa.
Andrew, was your bill for your Wendy's meal 30 cents? Like, was there 30 cents?
No, it was 11.11.
Wait, what's it?
What is going on here? I don't know. I got to be careful. All right.
I had rewards that got me free fries.
Okay. They have the hot fry policy, right? Like if your fries aren't hot, then they give you a fresh one or something like that. So
we
you
had
just go
a situation at our local Wendy's where if you like ordered hot and crispy, was that local, honey? Or if you wanted your fries hot.
Oh, that was Burger
crispy,
King. Yes.
Oh, it wasn't Wendy's. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It's still fast
bad
food
story now.
franchise. No, please.
If you ordered your fries to be extra crispy, that was code for whoever was working in there to sell you drugs instead.
You got weed with it.
New Hampshire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you get those hot, crispy Burger King fries, and suddenly you got some nugs to go with it. So, you know, if you want to put it that way, then it's available to you.
Literally.
Speaking of nugs, we got nuggets filled with a whole bunch of different moments in this season 1 finale. You know what, Andrew?
That was a weird transition.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It's a fantastic transition. I need you on
always,
board.
You can't always get them all. You can't get them all.
This is a Christian podcast.
It is not.
It is
I
not.
want to make that clear.
It is not.
It is not whatsoever. Rural Farm Boy. Yeah. he knows we are not a Christian podcast whatsoever. I mean, he had to apologize to us in the audio clip that he sent us from our last episode, and he said, "Sorry for swearing, folks." And I'm like, "Have you listened to our podcast before?"
We're not a Christian podcast. We're a Christian band.
No, we're
Yeah.
not a Christian band.
Can you take us higher?
I was gonna make that joke as well.
I see what you did there.
I mean, they're coming to Boston in a couple of weeks. I'm just saying.
Whew, that's right. Getting some throwbacks going here. I'm all about that. Throwing it back over to the Acolyte finale here. I think
This
that
isn't going to be a Creed conversation.
yeah, of course it is. I'm gonna put on Dallas Cowboys jersey. I'm gonna have the naked guy flying around with the,
Hey, it was one of the great halftime shows.
It was a fantastic halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of halftime, I think Soul met his halftime. No, I'm not gonna go there. I mean, this finale, folks, let's break it down. Sean Michaud, Andrew Shalen. There were so many nuggets here of just appearances that we got both in the middle and then at the very end that had us like, okay, y'all were thinking, when is Leslie going to give us fan service? Number one, she's been finding ways throughout for the High Republic fans of giving you that fan service. But for the lore fans, for the people who have been very much involved in the canon for a long time, including some of the legends, James Luceno, with his amazing works across the years, we got some stuff. And Shalen, I want to throw it to you first, because I know that you had some comments specifically about coming into the fandom and into the lore, for somebody who may not be, there yet or are learning about this lore. It was pretty jostling when you saw me get up and scream and say, "Oh my fucking God, she did it."
Right. So I'm super happy that you got to have that experience. But if I
hurt my
didn't
tongue.
know, you did. If I didn't know that
The
is
pain
who
was
that
worth it.
character was,
Sean, shush.
if I didn't know and the only reason I knew who that character was or who that character could be is because of y'all. Like if I had come into the show after just like watching, let's say I watched all of Clone Wars, all of Ahsoka, all of everything that I did watch, including the prequels, including the prequel trilogy, I still would not have known who that character was, because it was never mentioned in any of the screen adaptations what species it's Plagueis. Yeah, it was never mentioned in any of the screen adaptations what species, what type of life form Plagueis was. So there are a lot of people who are in that kind of same boat that I was in when I first started doing Brick City with you guys, where I don't know a lot of that backstory lore. If you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known it. And there are a lot of people who are in that camp and who are saying, "Oh, is this like the same species that General Grievous is?" Which is a great, and I know that it's wrong, but I'm gonna say it's a really great leap to make without the information that you without having that information, because Grievous has to be force sensitive, so he has to be a life form. He's not a robot. He has a heart. He has that's it. He's a cyborg.
He's a cyborg.
Well, that's how he was killed. So yeah, he has a heart. And seeing like the darkness in the eyes and the creature in shadow, and being like, okay, if I know that Grievous was once a full life form and he just like whittled away at himself and built himself into a cyborg, then maybe that's what he looked like before he did that. And so that's a good parallel to make. And people are using their critical thinking skills, and I don't think they should be attacked for that. If I didn't know specifically that Plagueis was a member of the same species as the banking clan, if you hadn't told me that, if that's not, is it what's it called, moon?
Yeah, the moon species. Okay. Yeah.
If I didn't know that that's what species he was, because of you guys and because of exploring the lore, I might have come to the same conclusion. So it's an interesting choice to make, to just have that one scene where he's just like crawling around the rock a little bit as they're leaving the planet.
Yeah.
And it's interesting for a couple of reasons. It's interesting because you have the fans who are like me, who have only really consumed the screen adaptations, more or less. Like some of us have watched all of the Clone Wars and all of like the animated series stuff.
Right.
And some people have only watched the live action stuff, and that's fine too. Either way, if that's all the exposure you have to the lore, you're not going to know who that is. And I don't think that people should be called fake fans because of it. It's done on purpose. If the showrunners and the writers had wanted us to know expressly that this is Plagueis and that not have any doubt whatsoever, then they would have given him more screen time and they would have kind of explained that a little bit better. I think that they did it on purpose as kind of a fan service, because this last episode was definitely the most fan service out of the season.
Yeah.
Because we got Plagueis and not Plagueis, sorry. Plagueis?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Plagueis.
Yeah, sorry, I keep mixing up Plagueis and Sidious. So if I have a slip
It's okay.
and I say Sidious,
They're related.
I'm not talking about Sidious. I'm talking about Plagueis. You get a shot of Sidious and you get a shot of Yoda. So that's the fan service aspect, right? So for the people who are like more in depth in the lore, like you guys are, who've read the books, who've read the comics, who are familiar with the backstories that were like established, that's a great little thing. And then for everybody else, it's like hey, look, it's like, here's somebody that maybe you should pay attention to. And we're not going to go super in depth on it. And maybe you can do your own like research. So we have some comic books you could read. But the thing that's making me sad again with the fandom is that people are being called out for not knowing this, and it's not their fault.
No, it's not. Andrew, we talk about it all the time especially when it comes to the series. You got certain people out there that are saying this is not the Star Wars they remember. This is not the Star Wars they know. Well, fuck that. This finale wraps up not just this first season, but parts throughout this finale, right? The maturity of Osha and May coming back together, and the ultimate decision that is made on Brendok for Osha to go this new route. I mean, number one, the minute I saw, and let's get right into this, the minute I saw her release her anger and start to bleed Soul's saber crystal, I was like, Andrew must be freaking out right now.
Yeah.
What was your emotions throughout all of that?
It's so cool because like we saw it in Jedi Survivor in the game.
Right.
But not everyone's going to be playing the video games. This is a lot of people's first time seeing a lightsaber be bled. And it was so cool. And it's kind of poetic that it's her master's lightsaber that she bleeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just is such a cool moment.
And I was talking with Jay earlier. This episode felt the most Star Wars out of all the episodes with Acolyte.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. And I don't think that that's Leslie's fault. I think people need to hop off of that because she had to take that High Republic era that we are currently now playing,
which not a lot of people know a whole lot about. Not everyone's going to read the novels for the High Republic.
That's right. So how can we slam in enough character introductions, enough of what's going on in this period of time, bring in the comic books, which I know, Sean, you've been reading as well. For you, this finale must have felt like a nice little bow on not only the stuff I know you've been going back and reading and are currently reading, but in terms of the characters themselves too. I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, we like I've only read like the first phase one of the High Republic, and going back and watching this whole episode, this whole season alone, just felt like I was reading the comics again. Like honestly, I mean, it felt very High Republic, which is supposed to by Leslie, and I guess she did her research really well, putting everything together, and not everyone will agree with her. I mean, that's not her fault because it's not, a lot of it's not canon. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff that she pulls out is from the like legends and all that, but it's not like canon lore.
Right.
Also, can I say I called Yoda was going to show up?
You did. You did call that. That is very true. And it makes a lot of sense too that we
It does.
do see Yoda at the end.
But
You know.
I hate how they're treating my boy Soul.
Talk about that, Andrew. I want to know more.
They're dragging his name through the mud.
Why are they doing that?
What he did was terrible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But what the fuck?
He knew it was
Oh,
gonna
I'm
happen.
sorry, my friend. I'm just gonna drag your name through the mud. Call you a rogue Jedi, even though you weren't. Makes me mad. But the lightsaber fight,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love the lightsaber fight in episode 5. But but there was just something about the fight in this last episode that just hit different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was the wire work, maybe it was knowing that the stunt choreographers are the same ones that did Shang-Chi. And I really did enjoy that Marvel movie. So that also works out. And honestly, just seeing let's just say Lee Jung-jae, he was the best part of this series.
He got his flowers. I saw that
He
image.
absolutely-
He got them.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
honestly,
'cause of that.
I haven't watched Squid Games, and because he's in that, I'm probably going to watch Squid Games now.
I've heard that from a lot of folks. I heard that. And he just was able to envelop the role of Soul at the
Mhm.
same time. Kamir, let's talk a little bit about Kamir because holy shit. I mean, you want to talk about somebody that's not just in tune with the Force itself, but somebody who, I mean, and I guess this stems to the Plagueis conversation. I mentioned this to Shaylin as well, is that, you know, I get that Kamir is a physical person. Kamir is an acolyte of some kind here. Whether he is working under Plagueis as an apprentice and or Plagueis is watching over Kamir and everything that's going on and saying, hey, I'm fascinated by what this guy's doing here.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think Kamir knows that he's being followed by Plagueis or watching over him. I don't think so.
There's something, and maybe we're waiting till season 2, fingers crossed, for that connection and that question to be answered. But just the way that, like, Kamir must know that his presence is there in some way, shape, or form. I would think.
Unless he's masking his presence, because
See,
Plagueis knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about the politician that just walked into the temple and was like, hey,
Oh, the guy.
you
guy
guys
from,
need to be put in check.
well, the guy he's from Supergirl.
Yeah.
I found
So
that
when
really
you have Martian Manhunter coming after you,
Shit.
it's not that great.
the whole stuff with Venestra, like the politics
yeah.
of Star Wars between the Senate
That's what
and
I
the
was
Jedi
waiting for.
was
Honestly,
really cool.
like Jay describes it perfect. She is the antagonist of season 2. She's not the protagonist. She's gonna be more of the antagonist than anything.
The way that she spoke to May.
Yeah, can we talk
Was
about how
like-
getting her mind wiped? Like
Also, that was like very quick with the mind wipe.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It was super quick, but also, I mean, again, it's like, did Kamir learn this from Plagueis, or is this something that he has learned over time through going and searching for Jedi texts similar to what Kylo Ren did and the Knights of Ren did by collecting artifacts and learning from those? Like, there's this fine line that exists that I don't think that we've explored just yet. And then adding Plagueis to that. And also, like you were saying, Jedi Master Venestra here, having this very antagonist perspective now thrown upon her heading into a possible season 2. There's so much going on inside the Jedi Order that it's kind of like, okay, you have maybe Plagueis in the background pulling the strings in ways, shapes, and forms as Palpatine Sidious learns from him. Is Yoda behind the scenes with Venestra saying, keep this shit in wraps. I need you and I to work together here, because leading up to Phantom Menace, Shaylin, you and I were talking about this too. leading up to the events of Phantom Menace. What Sith? We have no idea what Sith. Dark powers?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Yoda knows his shit,
Yep.
right? And Vanestra and him, I think, Andrew, what you're leading on to is that there is something going on behind the scenes where Yoda is ultimately saying, ixnay this. We already got the politicians up our ass. It's time that we just find a way to put a cap on this.
Can I also say how I noticed when Kamir took his helmet off and like Renessa kind of knew that he's alive.
Yes.
And he was fucking scared.
He was really scared.
Like, saying how powerful Renesta was.
Whip mark on his back. Something happened there. We're gonna get more flashbacks. I don't think we're done with
Hopefully they don't waste 2 episodes with the flashbacks, though. So don't get me wrong. I like the series as a whole.
Sure.
But did you really have to waste 2 episodes for a flashback?
I don't know if they added much more than
it did. The flashback episode could have literally just been episode 3.
I think we said that there should have been a merge, like they could have done.
And honestly,
this season should have been 8. Should have been 10.
Should have been 10 episodes.
Yeah.
It would have benefited the series a lot better. And if they're not getting a season 2, 10 episodes would have been able to wrap a lot more stuff up.
Right.
Also, those who did not listen to Words of the Wills last week, Jay had an epiphany about Brendock. What might have started a specific cult that Kylo Ren is a part of. Brendock, take out the B, the Ock part. What's in the middle there?
Jay, you sick, beautiful son of a. My God, yes. I thought we got Ren in there. Jeez. Jay must have been on some good stuff in order to pick up on that one. Woo. Wow.
Brendock, Knights of Ren.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Jay, you son of a bit. Wow. Incredible. I mean, it would make sense. It would make sense with the way that we're seeing things proceed. Shaylin, while I got your attention here, any final thoughts on this finale, things that you're, fingers crossed to season 2 here, specifically with Osha and May? You notice the twins talk that Soul was like, you're not twins, and this and that. In the Force, of course, they're not. They're virgin births of the Force, essentially, that the witches and their mother were able to manifest, essentially. But I know there's certain people.
Well, according to, they're the same person.
Yeah.
So they're like clones, but with the Force, which would be incredibly powerful, and that kind of might if they figured out how to clone with the Force in the past, they might use that information as like a flashback for a future series because because we've been trying to clone with the Force for the entire Mandalorian season. Like that's been the whole thing with Mandalorian, is trying to find a donor that can help you clone with the Force. And if it doesn't require a donor, maybe it requires a virgins. Maybe we're going to take Mandalorian to Brendock 200 years later. But I don't think that they can. I don't think that they can get away with not finishing this story.
Yeah.
if
Because
it
has to. I think it has to finish, the series has to finish with Palpatine slaying Sidious and joining Plagueis. Yes. Sidious slaying Plagueis and joining the Senate. And going to Naboo or whatever, so that it really like, you know what I mean? Like it really like connects it back. Like I know that Palpatine is like significantly older. Like he's around for like 100 years before he goes to Naboo and joins the Senate. But if they do like a moment where,
We really don't know Palpatine's true age, which is what you're saying. It plays into that. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying they need to figure out an elegant way of bumping the events of this, especially if they're going to bring in a character who is Darth Sidious's master.
Mhm.
They need to find a way to kind of tie it to the rest of the story. You know what
If
I mean?
it's not Palpatine killing Plagueis, it's Palpatine killing Khmer to take his place as the student
That would work too.
Yes.
To be the student of Plagueis.
Right.
Although I did like the way that Plagueis basically took him on in the book. Plagueis basically made Palpatine murder his entire family before he became Plagueis' apprentice. And it's interesting because Palpatine's homeworld is Naboo. So if they do incorporate that in, that's where they can be like, oh, who's this in the background that we're seeing and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's also like, who do you cast as a young Palpatine for that time period? For me, I've always said Tom Hiddleston would be the perfect young Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got Disney contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think playing around with those Disney contracts is super important here.
I think it might be hard to separate him from Loki, though.
Yeah.
I know that Loki's like done, but you know,
well, we'll see.
What is Loki not done?
Is there something you wish to share?
Loki should be done. I think.
Oh, the series is done.
Oh,
yeah, the series was very like satisfying.
But with
its conclusion.
Secret Wars coming up, him being the god of time, basically.
His story's not done yet.
That's true. Sean, that's a very bold prediction right there.
What?
We are not a Marvel podcast. We are a Star Wars podcast.
We're gonna get into some Marvel here in a little second.
Chimera's story is not
but right
done.
now we are not a Marvel podcast. Right now,
yeah,
we are
Robin.
a Star Wars podcast. Stay
I'm
on
the one who
topic.
gets
You're
blamed.
the one who keeps trying to stay on topic.
I can't believe the slander, the jargon, the absolute buffoonery that is being thrown upon me right now.
Well, you're
Robin,
deciding
I'm
to
not
go
gonna
the
back you up
political
this
route.
time.
That's
I'm
your
sorry.
own fault.
Sean, I never expected you to anyway. Twins. Anyway, moving on here. My goodness gracious me. You see that? There was just some thunder outside. You know what that means?
Thunderous applause.
No.
God
Power
is
gonna go
angry.
out.
No, you know
Our
what
power's
it means?
gonna go out and our Wi-Fi is gonna go out.
That's a dark way of putting it. But
The Wi-Fi's
No.
gonna go out.
no, it means because Leslie gave the fans what they wanted, and because we're going to celebrate that the fans got what they wanted, we're going to have a
Okay.
Plagueis party.
Break it down, turn up the bass when you hear that sound. Drop it to the ground, drop it to the ground. Break it down, turn up the bass when you hear that sound. Drop it to the ground.
You just lost 10
music
subscribers.
Okay. We did not. That is not necessarily true.
We are down to 0 subscribers now.
Oh, you know what? We'll do a
But at least I
celebration.
got Geek Theater coming in.
You know what? We'll do a 0 subscribers celebration on our YouTube feed.
That'd be fun.
We'll do like 0 subscribers.
You
Yeah.
know what?
That's not true. We're at
Race.
77 subscribers, which is something, right?
77 more than 100 than 0.
Shaylin, you're supposed to encourage folks to hit the subscribe.
Wait, what did you say? I missed
Those are rookie numbers. I'm sorry. What? That's not how you
You
said
can
it.
help us make them not be rookie numbers if you hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, you can see how Shaylin's going in and out. We need your money in order to make sure that the Wi-Fi signal is a little bit better.
Oh shit! Is our Wi-Fi fucked?
No, you were just getting a little bit slow.
You
there for a
guys
second.
gotta
That's all.
curse it, and it's gonna happen. So
That's slow as in the video. That's not what I. No, wait a second. No, wait.
Whoa.
My
Why
turn.
did we- Why did we
Come on,
why did we
say it.
suddenly get a like on this? We suddenly just got a like comment on Facebook for this.
Whoa.
Who's gonna unblock first?
Who's gonna
People
do it?
appreciate the sass.
Whoa.
People love the sass. We just got, like I said, we just got a like on our video here. So
It's probably Nick McCumbee.
Thanks, guys.
ooh. Oh, talk about another. Okay, not going there. Folks, as we move out of the Acolyte discussion,
I would
here,
say if they don't do Acolyte season
and
2,
Andrew's got more stuff.
they should still be in the High Republic timeline.
Yes,
Have it connect, have
Yes.
everything
Yes.
interweave, and then do a movie. Finish it off with a movie.
like the Mando, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
do a movie to wrap it all up. I like that.
But
idea.
we didn't see the Disney Plus show.
Yeah, come on. Jeez,
It's like people complaining about Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Oh,
Well-
WandaVision. That's your own fault.
it's your own fault.
I
Sean,
love that movie.
Sean Michaud, final thoughts here as we wrap up the Acolyte discussion and move into some.
I had a terrible time. No, I'm kidding. I loved it.
Wow!
I was joking. I loved it. And it came out on the final season episode came out on my birthday, which was a great surprise.
Ironic. An episode came out on my birthday and then one on yours. Huh.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah. Is that what Shaylin?
What?
Could you call me Shaylin?
No, I'm not. No, honey. Shaylin, final thoughts. Acolyte. How you feeling about it?
I agree that it was a slow start to the season, I think. Not the start, but the middle was kind of slow.
Yeah.
I think that there
Slow.
could have been more revelation kind of throughout.
Mhm.
I don't think it all needed to happen in the last episode. I feel like they danced around the point for most of the series. I would have liked to kind of had more time to explore what it means that the girls are not twins, or if they're clones, or whatever, they're a creation of the Force, whatever it may be, and kind of have them grapple with that. But all in all, I think it was really, really well done for something this unprecedented. I think people fail to kind of appreciate that this is the first time that we've ever had something Star Wars on the screen that is so far outside of our traditional timeline.
Right.
The timeline that we've seen on the screen so far, and I say on the screen because I'm a screen fan. I'll read a comic book if you put it in front of me, but if I don't have context, I'm going to lose interest really quickly. So we've only really had from the prequels through the Clone Wars and then the sequels. We've had just over one lifetime worth of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So of like one lifespan, right? One human lifespan, I guess you should say. And that's all we've gotten on screen. So for something that's so unique in that it is showing such a different time period with completely new characters, like every character you saw on that screen was a new character with a new backstory. I'm sure that there are references to them in Legends and so on and so forth, and in the lore, but they had to create aesthetics for new characters. They had to create names for new characters. They had to create motivations for new characters. We got to see Jedi in the temple while the temple was thriving. We got to see senators in that last episode. So for how far removed it was from our typical timeline, they didn't have that timeline to like fall back on. They couldn't like reference something that was happening in another part of the galaxy that we would be familiar with. So for something that's got no point of reference for, I would safely say a majority of the fans, I think they pulled it off very, very well.
Absolutely. Andrew, your thoughts?
Overall, I enjoyed the episode or the whole season. I do feel like it was kind of all over the place with the episodes sometimes. And using two of your episodes, one being episode 3 and then episode 7 for your flashbacks, it kind of handicaps you a little bit. You could have just had like one full episode dedicated to the flashback, and then you lead to the revelation. And yeah, the characters were great. Soul was the standout character. Yord was the cop, but he tried in the end. Jackie was great. Kamir was another standout, especially with his actor. I did like May and Osha. Fucking Basil turning on Soul.
Wow, yeah, I did not see that.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about Basil right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed the series. I would have to do another watch through to see where it would rank in terms of like how I feel about it with like standing up against the other Disney Plus series stuff.
Right. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree, Andrew. I feel like, you know, The Acolyte did a lot of great things, like Shaylin said too, where we were introduced to 100 years before the events of Phantom Menace. Leslie was able to play within the High Republic timeline in a way in which those who were not familiar with even Legends or previous canon or have picked up the High Republic comics or the novels themselves could kind of envelop themselves in this part of the galaxy and start to explore the characters that Leslie was giving us. And yeah, I mean, honorable mentions, participation trophies to every other Jedi that would, you know, that was in this series, essentially, because
you mean the red shirts?
Yeah, essentially, right? No, seriously, yeah. The red shirts of the series that were able to give us some really funny moments early on, some of that character build that we saw. And to be honest with you, we're the springboard for Soul and Osha and May. They really had the ultimate job of questioning Soul at times and asking why things were the way they were, and also being Soul's right hand Jedi Padawans in the journey of figuring out how May survived. So participation trophies to go all the way around. You helped push the story forward at the end of the day. It did feel slow at times. I do agree with that, and I do feel that they saved a lot of the good fan moments for the end of this series, especially with Plagueis and then of course Yoda at the very end, just saying, hey, we would like for there to be a season 2. We'd love to continue this story. There's a lot more that we need to answer in terms of questions, and there's a lot more within this time period that we want to play with. And I think for fans like Shaylin, who are just getting into this part of the Star Wars fandom and starting to learn about this time period, Leslie did a fantastic job of saying, hey, come on into the bouncy house that is the Acolyte, bounce around with us for a little bit, and then guess what? We're going to get some ice cream after, and we're going to show you what the rest of the fandom's going to offer, which is the sweet treats that come on later down the road that are Acolyte Season 2 and whatever else. So I don't know. I think that the series accomplished everything that it needed to. The haters and the people that did not like it, that's fine. You don't have to watch it again. You don't have to ever have to watch it again. You can go off and do your own thing. We're waiting for a season 2 and waiting to see what Leslie brings us next. And I think that Dave Filoni is super excited about working with Leslie going forward around the High Republic era as well. So really excited to see what happens. The series did everything it should have, everything it wanted to. And I'm sure Leslie is super excited to keep giving us some of this goodness at the end of the day. So excited to see what happens here as we move forward. But moving into our final topic of this evening. Okay, so go ahead.
That I just found.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Russo brothers, who did Avengers Infinity War, as well as the Captain America movies and Endgame, they are in talks to coming back to Marvel to do Avengers 5 and Secret Wars.
Okay.
And be liaisons for other Marvel projects, which honestly I would be welcome to.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that'd be.
But
really
so
great
far, it's just early negotiations from what I've been seeing.
Yeah, and I think that that kind of leads into, of course, coming up down the road here, Andrew. Deadpool Wolverine is just right around the bend, and we cannot not talk about it because we got the soundtrack list for the upcoming film, which I know, Andrew, you shared out, and boy, there's some real bangers on that playlist. How about you start us off with that conversation?
I feel like every song that's involved with it is Deadpool hitting on Wolverine.
Yes.
In some way or in some form.
Mhm.
Especially what's the song? Let me pull up the list. Especially the song Only You and You Alone. That's straight up him trying to fuck Wolverine. The Power of Love. There's absolutely no the one that made me laugh is they got a song from The Greatest Showman.
I saw that. I thought that was a great little twist. That is great. Yeah, I'm super excited.
I'm excited for it. Wolverine is probably one of my favorite Marvel characters, and honestly, Logan was a perfect send-off for his character, but I am welcome to have more Hugh Jackman on my screen as Wolverine because it's like trying to recast Iron Man. It's not going to be the same without Robert Downey Jr. He made the character Wolverine cooler. Like I did a double feature watch along last night of the first two X-Men movies, and it's crazy how it went from just like a regular X-Men movie to most of the focus being on Wolverine, which is like, it's interesting how that switched. And that the movies were my first like real introduction to X-Men besides the animated series. So seeing Wolverine go from like the first X-Men to Logan, which is my favorite comic book movie. It was my movie of the year for, what was it, 2017 it came out?
2017.
And getting to see him in the classic yellow and blue suit, it's just going to be cool. And if they're going to bring in the mutants to the MCU and they want to keep a legacy character, the way it seems like him and Deadpool are joining the MCU after this is done.
Right.
And honestly, I am more than welcome to it.
Yeah, I think the one thing about Wolverine, Deadpool, and Andrew, you outlined it beautifully, and Sean Shale, and you can jump in at any point here. But I think that the one thing that this series is doing, and maybe it's because we haven't had, the Cap 4 trailer came out and it was absolutely fantastic, of course. But I was saying in that
interesting
chat before,
timing that we're going through a campaign and Captain America's like, hey, we're doing this. And then Harrison Ford's running for president.
that was pretty cool. It was like what I said to everybody in the chat. I'm not sure what Kevin Feige has up his sleeve for San Diego Comic-Con and for D23. I don't know what the ultimate plan is at the end of the day in terms of what he's going to bring up down the road in terms of the Marvel schedule. However, I remember when Deadpool Wolverine, the next Deadpool film was announced, everybody was like waiting patiently to get the title, to see a trailer and everything. That's what Deadpool brings to the MCU as a whole. And the fact that like you said, bringing Wolverine and Deadpool into the MCU after the fact allows for that to thrive.
This is technically the MCU's first R-rated movie.
Right.
Which I like that they are allowing them to do it.
Yeah. It plays within that very nicely. So I don't know how anybody else feels, Sean Shalen, but I think it's really exciting. Do we see Taylor Swift as the Dazzler or as Lady Deadpool? I don't know. I'm trying to get.
I have a feeling it's Lady Deadpool, but
I think Lady the Dazzler, but I think there's also rumors Blake Lively will be, which kind of be kind of cool having Ryan Reynolds' wife play Lady Deadpool.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. Because I
what's
thought
just Ryan Reynolds as Lady Deadpool.
That, you know what?
Do a switch. Do Ryan Reynolds as Lady Deadpool and Blake Lively as Deadpool.
No, it's Hugh Jackman actually. He's playing Lady Deadpool. No, I'm excited. I haven't been excited
I hope they
from Marvel movie in a while, so
I
Anything
hope
Marvel
they bring back
related.
X-23 in some way, whether it's a different variant of her or it's the same one from Logan. Because X-23 was the best part of one of the best parts of Logan.
Yeah. That's very true. Shaylin, do you have any thoughts on the upcoming? I know we're excited to see it when it comes out, but nothing to share.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up for a cameo,
Mm,
but I'm gonna enjoy the movie regardless.
I like that.
That's all.
I like
It's just
that
gonna be
answer.
really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
a good,
if
it's
it's
a good
like-
summer blockbuster.
Because Ryan Reynolds just has like the best sense of humor.
Mhm.
And
it's gonna
him as
feel
Deadpool,
well
you know,
with
it's just gonna
that.
be like that kind of raunchy, like fun, like vibe. It's just gonna be good.
It's very true. Andrew, final thoughts on that, or
I mean, I've been burnt out on the MCU, especially after watching Thor: Love and Thunder, which I had to stop midway through that, and I don't stop. when I'm
Guardians was
watching
probably the
movie.
last movie that was
The
I
last-
enjoyed.
Guardians, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man were the three that I really enjoyed. With Deadpool and Wolverine, it feels like the MCU that I like fell in love with, like Winter Soldier,
Right.
Civil War, all that stuff. And hopefully it keeps up the trend with Captain America coming out. Because, well, one, I want to see Harrison Ford's grumpy face on the Red Hulk. That's all I want.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I
Really
love
awesome.
seeing the Falcon and Winter Soldier series,
Mhm.
and going from that to Captain America. As I'm excited, so
No, it's exciting times for the MCU as we move away. You know, this period of time following the Acolyte's going to be interesting to see what's announced, what things come out. Of course, with Deadpool coming up down the road here very, very soon, the end of this month. I mean, it's just around the corner, folks, and we cannot wait to be there. Andrew, you're seeing it opening night.
Yeah, me and the crew are seeing it.
Fantastic. Sean, you're seeing it opening night as well.
not opening night, probably opening weekend though.
Opening weekend, yeah. It's gonna break some.
Oh, you,
some
Robin.
numbers. I think Shayla and I will either see it probably opening night or opening weekend. We'll see what the timeline aligns like.
Timeline because multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. I try to do some stuff like that here and there. However, folks, speaking of timelines, we wanted to let you know that next time we talk to you, we are taking a short break here. As we said at the beginning, a little hiatus. As all good podcasts do, not like a
Is that
hiatus.
going to be like 4 years from that time? We
Yeah, no,
promise.
it's absolutely
Talk
not
to
gonna
me
be
in
that.
4 years and see where we're at.
See where we're at. As we said at the top, Shaylin and I, our wedding is 30 days away. We are in the stretch when it comes to planning and making sure everything is all set and ready to go. My job is getting crazier by the day. As Andrew knows too, with back to school, where you are, your job is getting crazier by the Sean, you were saying there's already Halloween stuff coming in through.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a couple of weeks ago we already started getting it. So
I mean,
so by probably a couple of months it'll be Christmas. So I'm not looking forward to that.
oh,
Honestly, I would rather take winter over this fucking hot weather.
yes,
I had enough of this hot
yeah.
weather right now.
Yeah, it's
Give me fall weather. Give me Halloween weather, please.
Yeah.
it has been brutal. So we will see you all on the flip side starting in late August with a brand new format coming out of the Acolyte with San Diego Comic-Con, with D23 coming up down the road. You will have a brand new format show here live on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, across the board. You'll see us breaking down all the major headlines that are coming across, not just from the Star Wars universe, but from Marvel, from DC, all the major movie and TV streaming news that's going to hit. We are moving into our Comic-Con era, is what I like to call it. Maybe we'll get some t-shirts that say "In My Comic-Con Era." But we're really excited. Blockade Media is what I'm calling it right now, because we're going to be bringing in so many different aspects of the fandoms into what we do, that real fandom talk experience. So we're really excited to share that platform. However, Andrew, of course, is be working and chatting with our good friend, Mr. Gonzo. Andrew, you want to give the folks a tease about what they can still do if they're not listening to the Blockade? They can come and listen to you.
Gonzo and I are starting a podcast called Geek Theater, which our first episode will be Tuesday, July 30th, which we will be doing a review on Deadpool and Wolverine. There will be spoilers, so be aware of that. So if you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, don't join. Or if you don't care about spoilers, sure, come hang out. We'll probably touch on House of the Dragon, which is ramping up.
Yeah, it is.
How far have you guys gotten in House of the Dragon?
We are all caught up.
Episode 0.
Oof.
Jones.
Shaylin, how did you feel about Eamon's
I know.
in the brothel there, where Eamon was just like, "Here you go."
I don't no comment.
That's what I was referencing when we got Kamira's bath scene. I'm like, this came out the same week that we got Eamon's.
Just full on.
Yeah, but Disney's not going to do full frontal.
I know,
HBO's thing.
but we got Eamon's dragon.
Oh, jeez.
Gross. That's disgusting.
Oh, no. Jeez. So this is what we're going to expect on you,
Yes.
Gonzo, and you're chatting.
I mean, one of the topics we're already coming up with is movies that are so bad they're good. We can obviously have like other guests on. Mostly it is going to be usually every month for the podcast. We might switch it up and do like every other week, depending on how we feel and stuff like that.
Nice.
It will be on Tuesdays, which works out because steelbook hunts are kind of slowing down a bit because a lot of stores are doing away with physical media, which makes me sad.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Except for Bull Moose, which even then, the one in Salem moved location, so it's a little bit smaller now. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Malls are dead, so.
Yeah, don't even get me started on malls because those used to be the place to hang out. Now they're just dead and makes me depressed.
It's sad times, but it's never a sad time here on the Brick City Blockade. Ever, forever, never, ever, for never, ever.
Never ever.
So, anyway, we will see you guys next time on the next episode. However, in late August, folks, mark your calendars. It's that time of the show. It's a little thing we like to call plug time here at the Brick City. I saw that, Andrew, at the Brick City Blockade podcast. What? Mr. Sean Michaud, where can the good people find you, Radium, across social media?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at SeanMichaud1, Instagram at It's Zone Z, and you could add me on Facebook, follow me, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. They have the double button you can follow if you don't want to friend request. Shaylin, how about yourself?
I'm on Instagram, Twitter /X. I'm never gonna stop calling it Twitter. Sorry, guys.
No, please. Keep calling it Twitter.
I've never called it X, so.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube as Shaylin. Everything as at Shaylin Grace. No spaces, no underscores. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. And of course, Mr. Commander Nerd himself, Andrew Garish. How about yourself? Where can people find you?
Well, I know you can find plutonium underneath Doc Brown's bed in his garage.
Yes.
You can also find me on YouTube at Commander Nerd, Instagram Andrew62592, Twitter Commander Nerd, Facebook. You can find me, but I won't accept your friend request.
Ooh, harsh.
You can find me on MySpace.
I thought you said last time you don't do that.
I'm back on MySpace.
Oh, jeez. This guy's flipping and flopping.
You can find me on my yearbook.
No. Let's be honest here with each other. Nobody's flipping through your books to look for us. I can tell you that much.
Remember Hags.
Hags. What?
Have a great summer.
Oh, that's right. Andrew's like, no.
No.
Oh no, there was a website at the same time MySpace came out. It was called My Yearbook. It was the exact same, just
Oh, that's rough.
You can also find me at Silver Scream Con in September.
Yeah, look
which
at
is
that.
going to be September 13th to the 15th. So it starts on Friday the 13th, which is perfect.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Look at that timing. Look at that.
You can also find me on Metallica August 3rd.
Check the cal-
August 3rd. I keep mixing it up because it's on like a Sunday, which is weird for a concert.
Where
Yeah,
are they
I've
playing?
noticed
Gillette
TD?
Stadium.
Oh, Gillette. Oh, ooh,
Nice.
nice.
And
That's gonna
then I was going to try and do Green Day, but they were on Wednesday at Fenway, and I heard they're not that great for concerts there at Fenway.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, if you're looking for concert recommendations, you can go to Andrew Garish and Sean Michaud as well.
What about you? You've been to concerts.
Yeah, and people can also find me on social media at X_Robin W Vote over on Instagram at Sean What
Nothing.
at IG, I guess.
Boo.
Robin W Vote. Of course, the Brick City Blockade over on Twitter at Real Fandom Talk over on Instagram. What? Oh, you're wearing the shirt over on Instagram at Real Fandom Talk. And make sure to subscribe here on YouTube. Smash that subscribe button. Hit this like
Make
button.
more content.
Well, we're working. We're working. We've been
You've
working.
been saying that for like 5 years.
And until next time, folks, we
Another
will
5
see
years.
It's
you
like a politician.
Very,
Dodge the question.
very, very soon. Until next time, folks, for light and for life. And as we always say, hey, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. It's a Plagueis party.
Break it down, turn up the bass when you hear that sound. Drop it to the ground, drop it to the ground. Break it down, turn up the bass when you hear that sound. Drop it to the ground.
Bye. See you in August.